Good afternoon, everybody. I am Brother Dwayne, Mr. Beanie. Everybody's just left. They're just leaving the driveway now. So I am alone this time. Tristan's back in school, and he's had a sinus infection. And Brother Michael seems to have bronchitis. So he was off work a couple of days. And now they have some appointments to get to. So I'm home alone. And I'm going to do me a Trusting in God devotional. I take advantage of, as you guys know, I take advantage of being home alone. Because I can be loud and nobody cares. Except, nope, that's Jasper. Jasper's learned that when I'm doing a video, he shouldn't be anywhere in sight. I used to get on to him before when he would make noise during my videos. This is... and make sure we're in the right place. November the 13th. This is called God Glorified. They use the Amplified Version for John 17:4, which says, I have glorified you down here on the earth by completing the work that you gave me to do. But we're going to read in Matthew chapter 27. So let me turn there. I'm enjoying using this King James Bible. Okay, Bo, I hope you're finished over there. He's in the kennel right now. Maybe I'll let him out later. So don't mind the noise. All right. So it's a new day. It looks kind of mix of sun and cloud out there. It's garbage day today. So I had to go bring the garbage cans in. Trash day. Let me see what else is going on. Oh, O.J. Simpson passed away. That's what news pop-up was there today. So this will be... I tell these details because when we look back at these videos years from now, if we're still here, we'll be able to tell when they were recorded. So O.J. Simpson passed away either last night, yesterday, or today. I'm not sure. I think it said he had cancer. It might have been prostate. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm not going to give my opinions on O.J. I remember when I was in high school, that's when his trial took place. And I do know that after he won his case, his lawyer was a very busy man after that. I'll leave that to you to figure out why. All right. God Glorified, Matthew 27, verses 32 to 44. Let's do it in this great big Bible. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. So Jesus is carrying his cross to Calvary, to Golgotha, the place of the skull. Here it is, here the next verse. And when they were come to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. We probably wouldn't drink it either. You ever tried drinking vinegar straight? I've had apple cider vinegar. That's pretty good, but it's still bitter. But it's good for your body. It's very good for your digestive system, by the way. Apple cider vinegar. Check it out. And they crucified him, and they parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. They cast in lots as in games to see who would win, like gambling, casting lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Now, it's actually funny because Pontius Pilate had that written on the sign because he knew it would anger the Jews, especially those religious Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes, because Pontius Pilate knew that Jesus, according to what they were telling him, Jesus had claimed to be King of the Jews. So Pilate said, I'm going to fix them. I'm going to say that he is the King of the Jews, and wrote that. And of course, they went to him and said, hey, you got to change that. Just put that he claimed to be king. And Pilate said, what I've written, it's already done. I ain't changing it. I thought that's kind of funny, actually. And set up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and the other on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, And reviled means ridiculed. And Psalm 109:25 talks about that too. And don't forget, Jesus was naked on the cross. These men were humiliated. They were shamed, completely naked. And saying, "You that destroys the temple and builds it in 3 days, save yourself. If you be the Son of God, come down from the cross." Likewise, also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God." The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. So they also insulted. But we know what happened to one of the thieves later on. It's been a long time since I wore this navy blue beanie. I thought it would go with the navy blue Top Gun. So I matched it up. This shirt's way too small. It'd be embarrassing if I showed you the rest of it. And it's got a stain on it on the back. So this shirt might become a rag pretty soon. Might be the last video you'll see it in. I want to be the Top Gun, baby. Okay, God glorified. How was God glorified? Through the cross of Jesus. There is only one way of glorifying God, and that is by obeying him. And that's our lesson for today. When we obey God, we glorify him. Children honor their parents when they obey them. Citizens bring honor to their country when they obey its laws. Learners bring glory to their teachers when they are obedient. This is true. I was a teacher. Feels good to watch your kids practice what they've learned. Jesus brought glory to God by his absolute obedience. Jesus could have evaded the cross. It means he could have got out of having to go to the cross by not returning to Jerusalem. If we look at Jesus' last days and his crucifixion, we are inclined to say, look how he loved God. Look how far his obedience went. It was perfect love and perfect obedience. But there is more. Jesus prayed that God would glorify Christ and also himself. The cross was not the end. The resurrection would follow the crucifixion. The resurrection was Jesus' absolution. It was the proof that the people could do their absolute worst, but that nothing could eliminate, defeat, or break him. The glory of the resurrection erased the shame of the cross. The cross was the way back for Jesus. Now, Father, bring me into the glory we shared before the world began. See, Jesus always was. Jesus was not created. He came and chose to be born of a virgin. He came and chose to be born into the world that way. Or he could have just come straight as himself, but then he wouldn't have been able to fulfill the prophecies. The prophets of the Old Testament had gotten word directly from God about Jesus coming in the future. And so Jesus couldn't have just appeared on earth as he was, or else those prophecies about him being born in Bethlehem, born of a virgin, those prophecies couldn't have taken place if he had just come as he was. So he had to come, be conceived in the womb, and come that way. That's the way he wanted it for his purposes. Okay. Jesus was like the knight, a king's knight. Jesus was like the knight who left the king's court to go on a dangerous mission. After he had accomplished it, he returned home triumphantly to celebrate the glory of the victory. Jesus came from God and returned to God. The link between his coming from the Father and his return was the cross. For this reason, the cross was his entrance to the glory of victory and triumph. Pretty neat. Think about it. Thomas Brooks said, Christ's blood is heaven's key. At the bottom it says, Lord, when I see the cross on which the King of heaven hung, all my efforts are delusions, and so am I. And then I detest pride and self interest. There you go. Just another reminder of the cross and what God has done. And of course, that was how Jesus Christ himself was glorified. By obedience. And don't forget, when you obey the Lord, you bring glory to him, and that is what we want. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. And I, Brother Dwayne, will see you in the next Trusting in God devotional.